The Tapestry of Truth.
So to recap what happened up to now, I'm the Queen of France all of a sudden, thanks to some easily bribed dolphins, who, over the course of a month or so, hooked me up with a horse, armour, Charlemagne's sword, and some kind of shitty banner they whipped up in MS Paint with a bit of clip art, blown up to A2 size and taped to a pole. I'd gone from smelling of shit to being the shit, which in a literal sense is actually worse, but let me assure you, things had improved. The next job was to go and save Orleans from a touch of the Pomme sieges.
The people of Orleans need a savior. They have to get Jean of Arc.
That's right, they need a saviour, but fuck, we haven't got time to find one of those. Just send them that grave-robbing kid who walked into town with a bucket of fish. If that doesn't help them, then we better start getting used to frying up whatever the dog dumped out last night for breakfast, because we're going to be British before we can say, tally-ho, what, my pantry passage won't shut. Somehow, despite being made commander of the French army, I left Chinon with even fewer troops than I'd arrived with. Fucking short-changing dolphin dicks. But I did get one more troop.
I am the Duc d'Alençon, my lady. I will proudly ride with you to Orleans.
This dude appeared from the bushes outside of town, claiming to be a duke or some shit. Where are your troops? Where are your servants? Why didn't you come into the city at any point in the last month and introduce yourself? Were you out here the whole time, stalking girls in the hope they'd let you join the army? I mean, you've got the horse, that's a start. But even I've got a horse now, and I'm literally some peasant girl with an Australian man's voice. It doesn't mean shit. Well, perhaps it does, if I'm the shit now. But, oh, whatever. Sure, come with us. Take an arrow for me or something. He helped me fight off another purple patrol on the road north, quipping,
This Burgundian rabble shall not stop us.
Shall not what?
Stop us.
One more time?
Stop us.
Stoppos? Oh, right. I guess that is a word. Wait, those guys were hitchhikers? Probably shouldn't have just killed them on sight. Guess the Duke had a bad hitchhiking experience. Not surprising. Last time I flagged down a passing horse, the rider swore to fight to the death for me and made me commander of the French army. Crazy times this year. That's probably in the AD range. Somewhere. Anyway, I got lucky a moment later when I came upon a town named after the sound of a puking cat.
Welcome to Bois, Jean of Arc. The army of France is yours to command.
Yep, these weirdos gave me some troops, way more than Chinon did, i.e. not a negative number of troops. They also gave me some carts of crap I was meant to deliver to Orleans. What am I now, fucking French centre? I mean, I'd rather be centre than J-dawg, but both's a bit much for my schedule. I'm meant to be going tux shopping, you know. I'm getting married in the morning. The way forward was blocked by a river, but my reputation for ship seduction pulled through once more, so we were fine.
Greeting.
Again, it was only 5 to a boat, so over the next few weeks we slowly got the whole army and baggage train to the other side. On day 23 we made a nice discovery though. Orleans was 5 metres away from the landing point and was in actuality about as besieged as a swimming pool during a thunderstorm. 3 topless guys were hanging around, but everyone in their right mind had fucked off, Brits and all apparently. So we just strolled in. No idea what the fuss was about. The French could have saved Orleans whenever they wanted. Just felt too fucking awkward to pass by all those hitchhikers on the way, I guess. Or maybe they didn't want to deal with the Orleansians' pushy bullshit. The moment I showed up, they were all like, yeah, thanks mate, but actually would you mind popping out and destroying a British castle? We would do it ourselves, but this nasty siege and all, you know, oh. Yeah, no good bunch of dull bludgers. Really glad we're saving this place. I got that familiar feeling of being the one person who wasn't born in an alley behind a rehab clinic as I started sorting the place out. And they were really far behind. We started by showing them how to make arrows, and then educated them on what castles were. I mean, I'm pretty sure castles were invented in the fucking Iron Age, so these guys must be pretty slow. Oh wait, it might actually still be the Iron Age for all I know. Well, whatever, the point is, Orleans was a backwater, despite everyone claiming it was among the finest locations in France. Not minded, mates. That fucking blah place was more technologically advanced, had a military, had supplies. Or can't we just go back there? And supplies were a real issue. The people of Orleans had long since stopped bothering to eat food because #we're under siege, leaving them too weak to actually look outside and see the river full of fish running right by the city with literally nothing guarding it. So I ordered the 3 guys who were still conscious to plant some crops in the fucking road, just to prove they didn't even need the lost farmland they were crying over. And bang, shit grew instantly. Who'd have known that paving slabs were the secret to a fertile field? A while later, some actual sieging happened when like 5 British guys appeared outside the wall, where our guard towers rained arrows on them with ease. Intense, right? I was expecting siege towers, rams, fires in the city, fighting in the streets. But no, just 5 dudes, one shooting arrows at a stone tower in the hopes of eventually knocking it over, and the rest just trying to stand on each other's shoulders to get up to the height of the wall. At the same time, I had some guys chasing a scout around outside the city, and they discovered a load of farmlands ready to use right outside the gate. Fucking townspeople failed to mention that, I guess. Did they want saving or not? I've got an army. I could retake that shit in a second. Why are you all keeping it a secret? Do you prefer the weird mouldy weeds I'm growing on the pavements for you? Yeah, you do. You Frenchies eat weird shit. Get a Roo burger down you. That'll change your mind. With food sorted out, we needed a supply of wood, and I had just the thing for that. I sent a team of ninja lumberjacks back over the river to Blur Town, where I discovered they had mountains of wood just waiting to be jacked. Had to fucking buy the wood we needed to make axes, because none of those dolts actually thought to bring some, but after that, we had a nice cozy supply of lumber. Thanks Blur, you've done it again. Eventually I realised I'd made a bit of a mistake. And I'm not talking about this whole thing, I mean something specific. I was meant to be taking down some castles, right? And that meant I needed siege equipment. But I'd accidentally trained up the whole fucking population to be knights, and the local bylaws prevented the city from having more than 75 people apparently, even though it had enough houses for like 5,000. And what do you do when you've got too many troops? Suicide attack. Grabbed a bunch of knights and sent them out to investigate the local British camps, maybe cause some havoc along the way and just generally make their death slightly more productive than just using them as human grow bags for my tomatoes. The Death Seekers almost ran right up to the enemy castle, but the crafty soap dodgers had remembered to put a wall in front of it. You win this round, but then we found that they hadn't remembered to actually put all their buildings inside the wall. So that's going to be a big win for me, I'm afraid. Started wrecking their shit, but then there was some bad news on the Blur front. A British scout had stumbled across my secret lumberjackery. What if he killed all my dudes and dudettes? What if he reported back to his masters? What if he told the people of Blur we were nicking their sacred forest and turning it into sentient battering rams? For now, he was at least willing to let us keep chopping, since it was harming our mutual enemy of Blur. But we'll see later on what that scout really had planned. Meanwhile, the last charge of the Alright Brigade was going, well, alright. Problem was, the British started bringing out catapults to even the score. And perhaps even more annoying than that was the fact that every tree, rock, bit of grass or shadow cast by a passing ant was hiding a British soldier. Bowmen and swordsmen swarming all over the place. We did a good job of killing them, but it was quite the distraction, and I still hadn't actually found the entrance to the enemy base. Then, far away, back in Chinon, I had some troubling news. The knight I had sent to scout Chinon's borders for somewhere to move my secret lumber camp had discovered that the British had a base right outside the city. Again, why was everyone so concerned about Orleans when Chinon, home of our dolphin overlords, was close enough to a British base that you could actually hear them giving themselves tea enemas? I had the scout rush back to the defences at Chinon, but multiple problems arose very fucking fast. First, the team at the gate didn't close the bloody thing until all the British troops had got into the city. Nice one, mates. Then, their guard tower couldn't be asked to attack the guys chasing my dude down, and said dude was promptly dolphin food. Well, joke's on you, Chinon bastards. Now you've got enemy troops in your city. I hope they raze the place to the ground, you ungrateful flipper-flappers. A distraction over, the attack on the British bases continued, still harried by an infinite supply of guys attacking in single file, with the odd catapult thrown in for bad measure. Some of my knights actually got inside an enemy base, thanks to their gatekeepers being just as obliging as the ones at Chinon. But there wasn't anything they could actually do in there, so I declared the mission a success. More of my own troops had died than I could have ever imagined, and now we knew exactly where to go with the real attack. Job well done. Yeah, there was some bullshit going on back at home, but forget about that. It was time to save this shithole so we had an excuse to fuck the fuck off. Just to be kind to the Brits, since they were my ancestors and all, I attacked in waves to make it easy for them. Although to be fair, I had no choice thanks to the fucking zero-child policy the Frenchies had going on. Anyway, first wave's goal was to make an entrance into the enemy base. The rams got to the ramming and a handful of dudes stood guard against the endless streams of attacks appearing from round every corner. It took the rams about 50 years to make a dent in the wall, and even then it was a corner piece, so we still couldn't fucking get inside the place. Eventually the Brits brought up a catapult that would wreck my wreckers, so we bugged out. I needed a place to get our ramming done in peace and quiet. There was way too much shit flying about at this end of the base. So, we went to the other end. Much more peaceful down there, and the ramming went on hard and fast as you could ever desire. I pissed my attention back off to Orleans to prepare a team to actually go in and take the base later on. Big problem though, as ever. While I was distracted with the new recruitment drive, some lone ranger had disabled all my rams while my troops were presumably busy pondering the deep questions in life like, what happened to Windows 9? Fuck. Well, that's the great thing about attacking in waves. There's always another wave, so shake off those blues and pump out more magic rams and try again. During the delay, I got my French allies to tell me what they knew about the area, and it turned out their main source of information was a mad monk striding around the wilderness, shouting down passing travellers trying to get them to convert to Catholicism or whatever. I'm pretty sure every side in this war was Catholic, so he was wasting his time, but then they didn't call him the mad monk for nothing. Although, for all I know, this war could have been taking place after the rise of Scientology, so maybe people really did need converting. The point was, no one was having any of his shit, but strangely, they weren't actually trying to stop him either. Maybe it was soothing to have a frenzied friar chasing you around the world, waving a crooked stick and demanding that you stop eating noodles on Saturdays, or whatever it is Catholics go on about. I don't know, I'm a Zoroastrian mate. Now, later on, just as my second attack was getting started, the drama of the secret lumbery entered its second season. The British had sent a load of rams to bust the whole operation. Shit. But of course there was a logical solution to this. My dudes were there packing axes that could cut through trees, and rams were made of trees. No, they didn't use the axes, did they? They fucking got their fruit knives out and started chiseling humorous engravings into the sides of the bloody things. Ha ha, very funny. You made it look like a giant knob. Watch out for the falling debris as they destroy your watchtower, mates. Good one. Slowly they did actually destroy the things by chiseling so much they just fell to pieces, ruining many a good 4-panel comic about penises in the process. Looked like we've gotten away with it, very sneaky. So now, let's cut to the chase, and by chase I mean base, and by base I mean former base, because my second load of ram rustlers made a hole in the wall and rammed the British castle right down to a pile of rocks, and that made the Brits moonwalk out of here, saying,
Since we are a generous people, we will allow you to stay in Orleans. But France belongs to Britain now. Never forget that.
Was that a British guy trying and failing to do a British accent? I don't know. The main point is that the rest of the Brits and even the Burgundians decided to fuck off, and Orleans was officially saved. They left behind a few blokes though, including the second coming of Christ walking down the river. Who'd have thought the Messiah would actually be conjoined twins in plate armour riding a 2-headed, 6-legged horse? Maybe next time let Jesus 2.0 save Orleans. I've had quite enough of this shit for one day. Next time, we'll do the next few meters of the Tapestry. I better work out how to sew an image to represent a whole city being ungrateful fucks on my dime. Until then, mates.